let's get back to doing some tips first because this is relevant. So I want to talk about a little thing called a cycle of action, right? So anytime that you are doing something, there's a start and an end, and everybody's familiar with that, right? When you start something and you work it until you get to the end. Whether you're doing cooking something, whatever, you pull out the recipe book, that starts it, right? You make sure you got all the ingredients you need, you get all that together, throw it together as instructed. Done, you have a cake, right? Now, here's the cool thing about a proper end to something. A proper end to something means it's done, no matter what, whether you do it good or bad. So if you forget the eggs in that cake, once you've cooked it, it's done. You can't now add eggs to it. It's done, right? You can start a new cycle of action, toss that out, and start for another one, right? But there has to be a clear start, and there has to be a clear end to the thing. And it is important to take things all the way to their proper end. If you don't do that, what happens, right? So here, let me just give an example. My wife was down here throwing some laundry in the dryer, right, as I'm about to do this. So she started it, right, and I stopped it. Not permanently, but, the proper completion of this is the clothes are dry. And that's the final end. Otherwise, it just keeps going. So I have stopped the dryer so that you all can hear me. And hopefully I remember after this to turn it back on. Otherwise, she's going to be really upset with me. And I'm probably not going to have, dry sheets to sleep on tonight. I don't know. But anyway, so I have to go start it back up again when I'm done here so that it continues and it actually comes to a proper end. Otherwise, you're just left with this thing not done and it upsets people, right? You can add that to anything. If you have a list of things that need to be done around the house and you start it, never finish it, start some tasks, only finish them halfway, what happens? If you're a guy and that's your honey-do list, you get your ass chewed out continuously. If it's your own list, as a guy or a girl, if it's your own list of stuff, you start to feel kind of crappy. You start to feel like you never finish anything, like you just can't complete stuff. So, it not only affects you, but it affects others. It affects both. So it's important to make sure that you take things all the way to completion. Now, with that, as I was saying a little bit ago, I've been involved in a conference call, several calls and meetings with the folks out in New Jersey that are planning things. They are doing an amazing job. New Jersey is set to be an historic event. It really is. It's going to be cool what they've got planned there. There's a lot of good people from all different organizations coming together and putting on this one big event. It's going to be awesome. Not all of the plans have been fully released yet. The one certainty thing right now is noon at the Capitol in Trenton. That's the one absolutely positive thing that is 100% locked down. Some other things, hopefully, we've got some confirmation of tonight, and we can put out some more details. But if things go the way they're intended to go, this could be thousands and thousands of people and just an amazing event. So that is going well, and I have to give kudos to everybody out there. I'm from New Jersey at one point in my life. I was born in New York, lived in Croydon, PA, right on the border for a long time. Lived in Trenton for a little while. I went out and did Hurricane Sandy cleanup, but that's not what I consider my hometown. I almost don't consider I have a hometown. I'm an Army brat, so I've lived everywhere and not anywhere for very long. So I'm more a citizen of the United States. But with that being said, amazing things that are happening out there, and I'm so thrilled with the folks out there that are making that happen. They really are some amazing people. Oh, awesome. Monica Squires just hopped on and said she's blasting this stream in the shop. Thank you. Let's see. And real quick, Corey said, Josh, I saw your post a little bit ago. As prayer service, I'll be making you a video answering your questions. Awesome, Corey. Awesome, man. Thank you. So I wanted to hop on to Senator Doug Mastriano real quick. What he did today was awesome, right? He did a press briefing and a little protest gathering. I mean, it looked like there were maybe 50 to 100 people there. There could have been more. Live stream was mostly following him, so it was hard to tell totally what was there. But it looked like a decent crowd. We didn't get notice of it until kind of last minute, so we weren't able to help that. But he's got 110,000 views on this thing at last I looked. And what he did at that was basically call for the resignation of the governor. Awesome thing. And from what I understand, he basically wrote up the resignation letter, slid it under the governor's door, and in hopes that the governor signs it. It's a nice statement. It really is. It's a great statement. And I'm glad it got a lot of traction. We have to do things like that. But in the end, what's it really going to accomplish? The governor's not going to sign that. Like that's just not going to happen. He's not going to sign the resignation papers. None of these extremely tyrannical guys are going to do that. That's just not something that's going to happen. So with that in mind, I don't want people to get disheartened because that is something that definitely occurs in everybody's thoughts. Like, what are we really accomplishing here? People get burned out on the protests just for that reason, right? You go to protest after protest after protest, and here you are still on lockdown. So what am I doing? Why am I doing it? It's the same thing with voting, right? You vote for 20 plus years, Republican in the state of Illinois. What am I doing? Why bother? So, people get that way, and it's a natural thing, right? If you don't feel like your voice is heard, you're going to stop talking. That's just how it goes. You ever seen a kid try to, get your attention over and over again? Mommy, 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 mommy. Well, they're smarter than we are. They get louder. When that happens, they start screaming, they start hitting, they get louder. They make sure they're heard. Somewhere along the way, we, as civilized adults, stop doing that. We start becoming calmer. We give up. I don't know why. I don't know at what age that necessarily happens, but somewhere along the way, that is what happens. And, Tina Marie. Oh, sorry. Correction there. He didn't call for the resignation of the governor. He called for the resignation of the Secretary of Health, Dr. Levine. So, correction on what I said. Sorry. I was on and off of that thing with other stuff, but he was calling for the resignation. So, anyway, that's kind of what happens, right? And we need to learn to get back to the childhood thing. Like the child in us is actually right. That's actually the correct thing to do, right? The correct thing to do is not to become silent, not to turn your head, not to just ignore it, right? So we have to keep in mind there are two goals to these things. Like the protests are not intended for the most part to actually open up the state. That is not the actual goal. There's two goals. We want the states opened up. We want sanity restored. We want the Constitution restored. That is the end goal. That is the end goal of this whole thing. We need that to happen for the medical freedom fighters, for the Second Amendment guys, for just sanity in general. Because this has gone on way too long and has gone way too far. This was like massive overreach at this point. But the overreach has been going on. It's not a first thing. So what is the immediate goal of the protests? The immediate goal of the protests, while you're at the protest and why to throw a protest, is to get together, to meet other people like you. Yes, you're sending a statement, but you're not sending a statement to the other side. They're not listening, right? You're sending a statement to like-minded people, to hopefully more people wake up and become like-minded like that and join us. We're trying to get more people together. We can't do these like 200 and 300 people things. Like in a state with 10 million population, 1,000 people is nothing. Who cares? You're such a small fraction of it, but that's the point. The point of these is to get more people involved. So we have to do that, right? That's the point of the protest, to be heard, to get more people involved, build a bigger group, right? So that's the immediate goal. The long-term goal is to have enough people to actually affect real change, and the right people to do that. So that brings me to the next thing, right? So how do we actually end this? Well, first we kind of have to ask ourselves, are we a society of keyboard warriors and couch potatoes? Like, are we just going to sit on our asses and watch other people do this? I mean, you guys aren't, right? I'm not. You guys aren't. I'm not. But there is a chunk of the society that is confused on that. I think they think it's okay to do that. And that's the part of society that we have to keep reaching out to. And we have to get them to understand that they can't just sit on the sidelines. They can't, like, the ones who are just absolutely afraid for their lives and think that going out and protesting is actually putting other people in danger. Like, cool, you're not going to change their mind. They are oblivious to the actual facts and data, right? You're not going to change their mind. But there's a portion in there that would join us, that actually believes what we believe, but they're still sitting on their asses. We have to get them up off their asses. And the way we do that is by showing them that it's cool, it's fun, it's happening, we're having a good time. There's a bunch of like-minded people. We have to talk to them and invite them to it, right? That's how we get them out there. And we get enough people, and then we can actually end this. What is the real end to it? The real end to it, right? The real way this actually ends is only one way. It's not with the governors just laying back. It's not with them releasing the hostages, as I've said before. That's not how this ends, because that's not a real end, right? That is a continuation. That is them allowing you back your rights, saying you have permission to use them again, but we have the right to take them away whenever we want, and we will do it again come the fall, probably. I mean, there's a reason they're hiring contact tracers. If you go on Indeed, look up COVID-19 contact tracer. I'm just saying. Just look that up in any area you're at. Look it up throughout the entire United States if you can. It's scary. They're hiring contact tracers in every major city. Lots of them. Really good paying jobs, quite frankly. Better paying than most jobs. A lot of them I've seen have been between like $22 and $26 an hour. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a time and a place where I would have taken that job in a heartbeat. And but it's a contact tracer. What does that mean? That sounds odd. They make it all sound all flowery like they do. But anyway, you look that up and just realize they're building up to that. So come fall, this is going to be harder. We have to end it now. And how we end it now is one simple way. Okay? The way we end it is with an arrest. There has to be at least one arrest. A quote-unquote citizen's arrest, but it has to be spearheaded by law enforcement officers. It has to be. It can't just be, a bunch of dudes with guns walking into the Capitol, storming with some like imagery of Michigan, right? Zip tying the governor. That can't be it. It has to be spearheaded by law enforcement. So that's part of this, right? That's part of the immediate goal, is to become friends with the police. Let them see that we're not dangerous. We're not crazy. Let them know that they have to come with us because their job is actually to protect and defend our constitutional rights. Their job, their oath that they took. That's why I want these videos, right? I want the videos of these law enforcement, ex-military, current military, politicians talking about their oath of office and why it's so important so that we can start waking them up, right? This one guy, I posted his video not too long ago, a couple days ago, in his cop car with the MPU hat on. He just got fired for this, right? He got fired for that video. Ridiculous, right? We need more of him, less of the guy who fired him. Whoever that was who fired him should be fired himself, okay? So, but we need to wake up the guy who fired him, right? That what they're pushing is unconstitutional and violates their oath and duty of office, okay? Their duty of position. And we need them on our side. We need them spearheading this because that the citizen's arrest, headed by law enforcement officers, is what actually ends this. This doesn't end without an arrest. It doesn't, right? It may seem extreme. It may sound extreme. It may sound crazy. I get it. That's the only way it actually ends, is putting a head on a pike. Not in the literal sense, but in the metaphorical sense, right? We have to have at least one who is arrested for their crimes of treason against United States citizens. Every one of these governors who have done this has committed treason to the United States of America and caused great harm to those for which they are meant to represent. We have to have an arrest. We do. Now, I'm not saying that this is the time, that Memorial Day is the time, but this is what we're working towards. We will have to do this at some point, and whether it's at an event that we hold, whether it's just we inspired it and it happens, it is the end result, and it is the only end that actually ends things. That is the only complete end to this. So that's what we're pushing for in many different directions. Not just to like have a bunch of folks storm the castle, but to actually like have enough police officers so on board that they come to us and say, hey, we want to do this. That would be ideal, because it has to be done the right way. Okay. And it has to be done in the right area. And that's why we picked out these 3 for Memorial Day that we're going to. That is kind of the direction we have to go. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen for this one. But that's what we're doing this one for, right? We're doing this one to bring those guys on board to make this happen. Because one governor gets arrested, we're going to set off a chain reaction. I guarantee it. One governor gets arrested, we will set off a chain reaction that every other governor will either be arrested in their area, or they will back the hell down and know that we're serious and we will come for them next. That has been the end game of this from the beginning. And I've known that from the start. We're working our way there, right? The first event, May 1st, was a PR blitz, right? Get as many people as we can together, high-profile figures, the right people, get some legitimacy behind this thing, make it big, make it known, make it loud, make it fun, right? This one is a no back down event. We're filtering out a little bit of the people who aren't on board with that are more, they're step up from keyboard warriors, but not much. So that we can find the ones who are on board with this and the ones who will inspire this. This is the only way this ends to a real final done, right? So that's what we're shooting for. That's what we're all working towards. That's where we're going, okay? I'm going to turn this over to some Q&A real quick, and let's see what we got. Let's find it. Okay, Tina, there she is. Happy Hour Al, if you were a child like I was in the 60s protests, and defiance is in your blood. Actually, I had a great gentleman who was, I think he said he was, I was talking to last night, he was part of the Million Man March. So, he knows a few things. He's been around a while as well. So, it's an important aspect of the protest, the using your voice as American citizens. We actually need to be a little bit louder, like that child. Let's see, Michael. Yeah, you were. Oh, there we go. A little bit more information here. It was calling for the Secretary of Health, Rachel Levine, basically accusing her of murder of the elderly, but written in political lingo. Yeah, I like that. Justin, too many small movements that are working as counterproductive measures against each other, not by intention, but by disorganization. Yes, and that's what we're really trying to be here for. I actually had a really great lady from Washington, Seattle, Washington, reach out earlier. She's part of the medical freedom movement, and I want to get her connected up with our guy that we have so they can, combine forces and make something big happen in Washington. So, Chris Riogis, welcome, man, welcome, from Indiana. Let's see. Janae, yup, I made a post. It's on our page. Thousands of jobs are up. Yeah, it's really kind of freaky. If you read up on what Apple and Google are doing with the phones and the contact tracing in there, that's really freaky too. And has to be some kind of violation of like privacy, HIPAA, I don't know what, but it's freaky what they're doing. Happy Hour Al. Faraday box your phone, people. I love that. Bud Woodruff. Faraday box is a box that electronic signals cannot go through. They have Faraday cages that they actually run electrical signal through like a chain link fence box, and that electrical signal scrambles any other signals trying to go in or out. That's the point of it. Let's see. Nicole Ferguson, I'd love to hogtie Prickster. Honestly, so would I. I would much rather see the head of the state of police do it, though, quite honestly. That would be a funny-ass sight. I would love that. Let's see. Chris Rio, just nobody willing to drink out of the skull of their enemies anymore. Eat a heart, all the good old-fashioned things. We're a civilized nation, too civilized for that. That's beneath us, and it's not. That's one of the tricks that has been pulled. I was talking with somebody yesterday, and he's a dude, and he's like, I constantly try to keep myself in check because I have these urges to just like lash out sometimes when somebody does something really mean and stupid. I'm like, yeah, welcome to being a human. I said being a dude because we were two dudes talking, but it's a human thing, right? Women are better at it in some respects, better at controlling it. I think than men, but men are meant to do that. That's why it's an urge. Men are meant to imagine how much nicer this world would be if you got punched in the face every time you said something rude or snarky. People wouldn't be rude and snarky, would they? Amazing, right? Amazing how that works. We take that out, and then all of a sudden people are rude and snarky all the time. They think they're invincible in their cars. They think they're invincible behind their keyboard. Well, guess what? If you thought I was coming to your house and I was going to break your nose, I'll leave it at that, break your nose because of something you typed, guarantee you wouldn't be trolling, would you? Mike Esposito, I think Governor Murphy is the guy to be arrested, followed by Wolf, followed by Michigan. Yep. Timmy Downs, what good is having gun rights when you get indicted, when the media only plays what they want people to hear, knowing it was self-defense, but costing the innocent thousands to prove self-defense, just like what's going on now in Georgia. Look at all the evidence. And actually, I wanted to read that real quick. So I had this up. This is the wording of the Second Amendment. I want you all to remember this, commit this to memory. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Right? I don't know where Supreme Court justices get off trying to interpret this in some weird way, but it simply states, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Prior to that, why? A well-regulated militia is necessary to the security of a free state. It is a must. Now, the only way you're going to get that isn't by only allowing somebody who calls himself a militia to have guns, although they have to, right? But everybody has to have guns. Some of those people who have guns are going to form a militia, and hopefully many militias. And militia gets this horrible word, twist to it that it's a bad thing, right? Oh, it's just crazy guys with guns. For the most part, for the great majority, that is not the truth. It is not. It is a bunch of guys who are simply concerned about their security and are taking responsibility for their own area. That's what a militia really is. Like I said yesterday, maybe it was the day before. Yesterday was Mother's Day. A militia is essentially what is supposed to help with law enforcement, like the mafia was originally before they became a crime organization. It's not supposed to be this giant police state that we have now. It's not. We have city police, we have county police, we have state police, we have highway patrol, parks, division. Like, come on. Like, there's not supposed to be that many law enforcement officers. You know, that's just more taxes coming out of your pocket. Like, really? Regulate yourself, people. You know? Be responsible for yourself. Be responsible for your neighbor. Be responsible for your neighborhood and your family. You know, that's the way it's supposed to go. Let's see. Monica, I took a powers of arrest course 15 years ago for security. I'd love to walk in and arrest King Hair Gel and hand him over to police sheriff. You know, that would be great. I would love to see that. Happy Hour Al, you cannot be sheeple. Nicole Ferguson, where's the app to trace pedophiles and murderers? Yeah, I know. Weird, huh? That's a constitutional violation. We have to protect them, but not somebody who gets a virus. Yeah. Let's see. Justin, I'd like to see Newsom taken down. So would I. He's probably one of the absolute worst at this point. Like him and like, I don't know. He kind of takes the cake in a lot of areas. It might be a real debate. You'd probably have some people from different states arguing that one pretty hardcore. But I don't know. Long view over top. He's probably either in the lead or really closely tied. Michael Dano, our rallies have inspired great people like Mastriano, DeVito, Metcalf. Pennsylvania needs to push it more and push it louder. Yes, and they need to push it further and in the right direction. I think Mastriano's taken a step in the right direction. He missed the target. He needs to be calling for a citizen's arrest by the police because they are, and this is the thing, like they're just as held under this as we are. Go to a different city, go to a different county. You're no different. You're not going to be treated any different. Your family's going to get locked down. Your family could get arrested. So, I don't know. Isn't a place I want to live in. Let's see. All right. Nicole Ferguson, I'm ordering a plague mask to wear in places that require a face covering. I love that. Oh, I don't have one down here. Here you go. They say how much of your face needs to be covered? Would just this work? Huh? Is that good enough as a face covering? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Those are my steampunk glasses. Got them from one of those Cirque du Soleil shows. Anyway, sorry, let me continue. Michael Dano Mastriano keeps stating to speak out, being in rallies and contacting officials every day, all day to show our voice. Good, and that's the kind of people we need. Let's see. A militia is a citizen police force. That's simple. Yeah, it really is, and that's all it's about. We need to form up more militias, quite honestly. More militias everywhere need to be formed. And a militia is more than just like the guys with guns, right? They need medics, they need communications. Just like a good, strong military unit has different positions. You need different positions. So just because you're not necessarily the one who's going to be out there, shooting up whatever, that's not going to be you. It doesn't mean you're not part of it. Join up, find a local group, make sure you're getting a good group, and see what positions they have available. A good military unit has a cook. They have different positions all over. They have supplies, all kinds of stuff. So a good militia will have all of those positions as well. Let's see. Oh, Chris, good. 4th Brigade here in Indiana, militia. All right. Marta Forberger laughing at something. And then Michael Dano, you are the man, Josh. Thank you. So, my message for tonight is on the end goal. What are we really reaching for? It is an arrest. That is where we have to go with this. We have to have somebody arrested. If they're not arrested, this just continues. If there's no punishment for doing this, there's no repercussions, it will happen again. It's that simple. So that is where we're going. We have to go in the right direction to get there. We have to do it the right way when we get there, but it has to get done. If it doesn't get done, we're back here in the fall at the earliest. Some states won't even be free come fall. They won't even get the summer free. They'll be on it the whole time. So yes, Nicole, thank you. Don't forget to turn the dryer back on. Yeah, good. My wife will kill me. So that's the thing. Go to AmericanRevolution2.org. AmericanRevolution2.org. Check out there. Keep up to date on that. I'm going to be updating the My Militia links with that, so that you can just find right off of there, your state, area, your groups in your area. I'm going to be doing that. And then, for now, just check out mymilitia.com. Good stuff on there. Find a local group, good group, and connect up. There's a lot of good groups on there. So if you don't find one, there isn't one in your area, you may have to start one, but I guarantee you, especially right now, you'll find more people. The idea of militias needs to be more mainstream. It really does. That needs to be an acceptable, normal thing in society again. It shouldn't be this extremist thing. Believing the Constitution shouldn't be this extremist thing. We have to fix the narrative. We've let them run with it for too long. Let's see. Joshua Eaton put in a well-regulated militia. I do believe they are starting to get people to start shooting to go after our guns. I don't know, just my thoughts and conspiracy theories. Yeah, I mean, if you don't defend them, they will take them. Anyway, so, all right, guys. That is my spiel for tonight. Thanks for joining me, and I'll be back here tomorrow at 6 o'clock again. I am going to do a quick little thing on My Militia, just to say hi to everybody over there. So if you want, you can jump over here to My Militia. I'll be doing it in just a couple minutes. But the My Militia Facebook page, I'll be going live from there. But otherwise, have a good night. American Revolution 2.0.